And this should be a lesson to all of us in identity politics. This may sound harsh, but you cannot give a hood rat whose mindset never evolved power and put them in charge of money, because they will run it straight into the ground, then scratch their weave, look you dead in your face, and ask, "What's your problem?" Like you're the crazy one. And no, guys, I am not calling people who live in lower income neighborhoods hood rats. This isn't about location. What I'm talking about is mindset. Yes, the mindset. Because in my opinion, physical location is only relative in theory. When you have the right mindset, the right intellect, and the right principles, you can rise above any environment. So when I say hood rat, I'm talking about mentality, one that thrives on chaos, lacks foresight, and believes entitlement is a leadership strategy. So this isn't about where someone is from, it's about how they think. And unfortunately, for Dolton and Thornton Township, Tiffany's mindset was never built for leadership. See, the reckoning always come. Some people play checkers, others play chess, but Tiffany Henyard, she played herself.
You make people hate you or dislike you, or make people think you're doing something bad when you're not. Then you defending that instead of showing your work. As I always say, my work speaks for itself. As you can see, let the people speak for you. Let them be your voice. That's where we are.
But one thing I can say about Tiffany is when she did her giveaway, everything in that box was name brand.
I was watching a recent Facebook post of one of Tiffany Henyard's many staged giveaways, and there was a woman in the drive-thru line who felt the need to make a public service announcement. And I'll let you listen to it, guys. But in essence, what she said is, if you guys don't live in the village of Dolton, Thornton Township, or the surrounding areas, if you're outside the state, in other words, then mind the business that pays you. So in other words, she's saying, mind your own business. Excuse me?
All y'all that got something to say about Tiffany Henyard, make sure you live in Dolton, South Highland, Thornton Township. Don't be in another state running your mouth about somebody you know nothing about. Leave her alone. Mind the business that pay you. Okay?
Okay, so let's unpack that. Because what she's really saying is, let us continue enabling Tiffany in peace. Let us ignore the corruption and let us pretend that this isn't happening, and you outsiders just stay out of it. That's not just misguided, it's dangerous, guys. When a politician abuses power, mismanages money, and runs an entire town into the ground, it's not just a local issue. It becomes a reflection of leadership everywhere. And let me say this, without you, none of this will be possible. We would love to have you as a part of the SC family. If you would take a moment to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That would help us to reach our 10K subscriber goal by the end of February. We would really appreciate it. And now, back to our story. Because whether you realize it or not, Tiffany Henyard doesn't just represent Dolton or Thornton Township. She represents how people perceive leadership in Black communities. She represents how minority candidates will be judged in future elections. And she represents why some voters hesitate to give another person who looks like Tiffany a chance. So no, dear, it isn't just your business. It's our business. And let's not forget Tiffany's infamous catchphrase, "I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it." No, that's not love, Tiffany. That's delusion. Because true leadership isn't about empty slogans. It's about results. And the only results Tiffany has delivered so far is a legacy of chaos. So when you tell people to mind the business that pays them, understand this: when corruption is loud, accountability is always louder. So here's how I see the saga that's unfolding with Tiffany Henyard and Kamal and her team in general, to be honest. Power isn't just about how high you can climb, it's about who you bring with you, how you lead, and rather you've built something that can last. Because stepping on people on your way up, that only guarantees one thing: when you fall, nobody's there to catch you. Come on, guys, you've heard it before. No plan is a plan to fail. And Tiffany Henyard, well, she played the game with no strategy, no foresight, and no integrity. She didn't surround herself with visionaries, people with a conscience, even, or leaders with a heart for the people. No, instead, she handpicked ex cons, people with suspect backgrounds, and those who owed her their silence. Why? Well, because loyalty built on favors and fear is much easier to control. Of course, it's easier to control people that have so much to lose, right? They don't want to be exposed. And such, they're easier to manipulate when the person in charge is handing out money, status, and protection. So she didn't need people to be thinkers. She needed enforcers, people willing to do her bidding. No questions asked. But the problem with surrounding yourself with weak people, the moment that you lose power, they scatter like roaches. So what's going on with Tiffany Henyard right now? Well, she can't buy votes anymore by giving away a bunch of free stuff. She has no leverage, no bargaining chips, no power moves left. Think about it. Tiffany Henyard has no storyline because her entire existence was, I gave them this, I gave them that, I did this, I did that, I, as if I was the only letter in the alphabet. And the danger with people with Tiffany's personality is that without power, without control, without the ability to buy loyalty, she's nothing. And for the first time in a few years, she's being forced to face that reality. Think about it. Kamal Woods fired. Tiffany Henyard evicted, abandoned, and barely holding on. Her grip on Dolton slipping. Thornton Township not even on the ballot. A write-in, maybe? That's just a fantasy. The FBI breathing down her neck. Tick, tock, tick, tock. So if you're still listening to the video, you might be wondering, so what's your point? Or maybe wondering why I'm even doing this video. Well, because this isn't just content for me. This is purpose, a responsibility, a reminder that life is like a boomerang. What you throw out always comes back. And we all need to watch, learn, and understand the lesson. So simply put, power without a foundation will always collapse. And Tiffany Henyard built an entire empire on control, manipulation, and illusion. She didn't even govern herself according to what she talked about. She hoarded the power. She didn't even uplift the people. She bought their silence. And now that the money is drying up and the enablers are disappearing, Tiffany has nothing left. And more importantly, guys, this isn't just about one corrupt mayor. This is about a pattern. When people in power put ego over ethics, when they surround themselves with yes men or women instead of real leaders, and when they treat public office like a personal kingdom instead of a responsibility, this is the fallout. And now, with Dolton's February 25th election just around the corner, Tiffany is grasping at straws, hoping that voters have a very short memory. But do they? That's a real question, guys. And remember, guys, this is my personal opinion. It's all alleged, gathered from public records, news media, and other outlets. But here's the real question, guys. Will this collapse happen sooner or later? So we know that in Dolton, the election is February 25th, of course, coming up in just a few weeks. And remember, early voting has already started. And I think that Tiffany is grasping at straws. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Southern Confidential. And if you would take a moment to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. We would love to have you as a part of the SC family. And I will see you next time.